Imagine, a life just sort of adrift. Stuck in jobs you don't like, money's tight, no real sense of direction.
Yeah, a tough spot to be in.
And then just one book, not just like information, but almost like a key, right?
Right.
Something that unlocks this completely different future.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the story we're digging into today. It's about Bob Proctor, a guy who at 26 was really struggling.
Broken drifting, I think, is the phrase used.
Exactly, broken drifting. And somehow he goes from that to being this global figure influencing millions of people.
It really is an amazing story. Shows you what's possible with, like, a real shift in mindset.
Totally. So our mission here in this deep dive is to really pull out the core stuff from Bob Proctor's legacy. We want to look at his own journey, the people who influenced him and the big ideas he taught for, over 60 years?
Yeah, 6 decades. It's about getting to the heart of how he helped people, well, basically reprogram their own minds for success in everything: money, health, relationships, all of it.
And we're mainly looking at excerpts from Bob Proctor, Teachings, Life, and Legacy by Hector Jesus Arancibia.
Right. That text really lays out his life, who influenced him, and those core principles he taught. It's a great guide for this.
Okay, so let's go back. Bob Proctor, born 1934, Ontario, Canada. And like we said, not an easy start.
No, definitely not. Dropped out of high school, bounced around jobs that didn't satisfy him.
Leading to that point at 26 where he's, broken drifting. It really sounds like he hit a low point.
It does. But that's often where the biggest changes start, isn't it? And for him, the catalyst was unexpected, maybe?
Yeah.
A single book.
Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich.
That was the one.
But the truly wild part, the thing that always gets me, is he didn't just read it. He read it every single day.
Every day?
For over 50 years. I mean, what does that do? That level of commitment. It wasn't just, like, gathering facts.
No, not at all. It was way deeper than that. He was, like, absorbing it, living it, really embodying that core idea from Hill that, thoughts become things.
Okay, so reading it daily helped him see something different.
I think so. He started to realize that success wasn't just about hustling harder or knowing more stuff. It was about these internal things. Paradigms, he called them.
Paradigms, we'll definitely need to unpack that.
Yeah. And subconscious programming, working with universal laws. That was pretty radical thinking for a lot of people, moving away from just, pure effort.
And he wasn't figuring this all out in a vacuum. He had mentors, right? Big influences.
Oh, absolutely. Some major figures shaped his thinking. Earl Nightingale, for example.
Ah, The Strangest Secret. Classic.
Yeah, exactly. That recording and Nightingale's whole message about we become what we think about, that clearly struck a chord with Proctor. A big one.
Yeah, you can see the connection there.
In Napoleon Hill himself, obviously. Hill's ideas on belief, using autosuggestion, having that crystal clear purpose. That was like the foundation for Proctor's whole system.
It's interesting, too, the specific people. Like Ray Stanford, the actual guy who handed him Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah, imagine being that guy. And then there was Leland Van de Waal. He apparently really helped Bob understand paradigms better and also our higher mental ability.
Higher faculties, okay.
And Thomas Troward, too. A bit more, maybe, esoteric. A metaphysical teacher. Troward's lectures really formed the sort of spiritual underpinning of Proctor's philosophy.
Wow. So it's like this blend of practical psychology, universal laws, and this deeper spiritual understanding.
Yeah, all coming together in his view of the world.
So how did he take all of that Nightingale, Hill, Troward, these complex ideas, and make it usable for the average person? That seems to be his real gift, right? Simplifying it.
That was his genius, I think.
Yeah.
Taking these really big, sometimes complex, universal ideas and psychological concepts and just breaking them down into practical steps anyone could follow. He gave people, like, a how-to guide.
Okay, so let's get into those core teachings. Where did he start? You mentioned the law of vibration.
Right. So while everyone talks about the law of attraction, and Proctor definitely used it, he always said the law of vibration was more fundamental. The idea that everything is energy. That's the bedrock.
I remember that quote of his. It's pretty direct. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. What does that mean practically? How did he teach people to, be the thing they wanted?
Okay, so it wasn't just think positive thoughts. It was about feeling the emotion of already having what you desire right now.
Feeling it now.
Yeah, he'd say act as if. You have to embody the state of being that matches your goal. Because your thoughts, and crucially your feelings, they create your vibration. That's the signal you're sending out, and that's what reality responds to.
So your vibration attracts things on the same frequency.
Essentially, yes. And this ties into the other laws he taught were crucial. He listed 7 universal laws.
Right, I remember seeing that list. Perpetual transmutation of energy.
Yep. Relativity, vibration, and attraction, polarity,
Rhythm, cause and effect.
and gender. He felt mastering these was the path to real freedom, real fulfillment.
Okay, that's quite a list. Did he focus on any of them more than others in his practical teachings, besides vibration?
Well, he definitely hammered home the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. He saw it less as just a cosmic fact and more like uh, a daily instruction manual.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, your feelings, that's energy, pure energy.
And it has to turn into something physical.
It will transmute into your physical reality. So the power is, if you don't like what you see around you, you change the energy inside you. Not just your actions, but your internal state.
That's a big shift in perspective.
Huge. And also the law of cause and effect. You know, what you sow, you reap. But he added that twist. The cause is often invisible. It's a thought, a belief you planted, maybe without even realizing it, in your subconscious.
Which leads perfectly into his ideas about the mind itself. He talked about these 6 higher mental tools, right? More powerful than our usual 5 senses.
Exactly. The mental faculties, he believed we all have them. Imagination, will, intuition, reason, perception, and memory.
And the key was that you could train them, like muscles.
That's exactly how he framed it. Take will, for example.
Yeah.
For Proctor, it wasn't just gritting your teeth. It was the trained ability to hold one single thought, one image in your mind with focus, blocking out distractions until it actually shows up in your life.
Wow. That's a very active definition of will.
It is much more than just willpower.
So how would he tell someone to, say, train their imagination for a specific goal, like make it practical?
Okay, so he'd say, use your imagination like it's a movie screen in your head. Let's say you want a new car. Don't just vaguely picture it.
Get specific.
Very specific. Feel the steering wheel, smell the new car smell, hear the engine, see yourself driving it, parking it, watching it, and crucially, feel the joy, the gratitude of having it now. He called it imaging. Make it vivid, emotional, and do it consistently.
Imaging, not just imagining. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, and this ties into what he saw as a major roadblock for most people. Paradigms.
Ah, yes. Paradigms. Huge part of his work. He defined them as basically mental programs stored in the subconscious mind that dictate behavior.
Mental programs dictating behavior.
Right. And his big message, which was pretty revolutionary, was that most of us are just running on autopilot. We're controlled by these old programs, often ones we inherited, and we don't even know it.
Hence his famous line, if you want to change your life, you have to change your paradigm.
Exactly. It's not enough to just try harder on the surface. You have to go deeper to the root programming. And he taught specific ways to do that: repetition, visualization, taking action that aligns with the new paradigm you want to install.
Which brings us to repetition and the subconscious. This seems central.
Absolutely central. Proctor firmly believed the subconscious mind. Well, it can't tell the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. And it accepts any idea you feed it consistently, especially if there's emotion attached.
So things like affirmations, vision boards, gratitude lists, they weren't just nice extras for him.
Oh no, they were essential tools, daily disciplines, because they're methods for feeding that new idea, that new reality into the subconscious over and over again.
He talked about spaced repetition, didn't he?
Yes, it wasn't just mindless chanting. It was about consistently emotionally embedding the new beliefs, although they overwrite the old limiting ones, until the success you want becomes your subconscious default setting.
It's like installing new software.
That's a great way to put it.
And he pulled a lot of this together in his book, You Were Born Rich, back in '84. That title alone, pretty bold.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the core message was just as bold. Wealth is not earned, it is attracted. And you are already born with the right to have it.
Wow. So wealth isn't something you chase externally.
Not according to Proctor. It's inherent. It's a result, a byproduct of aligning your inner world, your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, your vibration with those universal laws. Abundance is your natural state. You just have to allow it.
His work obviously continues, the Proctor Gallagher Institute, which he co-founded with Sandra Gallagher.
Right, carrying on the teachings.
He passed away February 3rd, 2022. But his voice, his ideas, they're still incredibly present, aren't they?
Very much so. The reach he had and continues to have is amazing. He managed to connect these sort of metaphysical concepts with very practical results, helping everyone from, broke single parents right up to billionaires unlock something inside themselves.
He really did bridge that gap.
He wasn't just teaching techniques, he was trying to elevate people's understanding of themselves and their potential. His legacy is really about empowerment,
Hmm.
showing people the power they already possess.
And that saying he had, his favorite one, sums it all up
Good.
perfectly.
Tell me what you want, and I'll show you how to get it.
Yeah, just pure confidence in the principles.
Total conviction that if you understand these laws, these mental faculties, and apply them consistently, you can create the life you desire. Anyone can.
It's genuinely profound when you think about the impact he had. Bob Proctor really did shift the conversation in personal development. He took these big, sometimes out there ideas and made them practical, actionable, helped so many people see the power within their own minds.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So maybe the thought to leave people with is this. If Proctor was right, if our mind really is the gateway to everything, and if wealth, health, happiness are just echoes of our thoughts and feelings made real,
Mm-hmm.
what possibilities might you, listening right now, be overlooking? What's hiding in your subconscious? Is there an old truth you're holding on to that maybe isn't serving you anymore?
What new reality might you be ready to allow in?
Exactly. Powerful questions.
Definitely something to think about. And if you want to explore Bob Proctor's work more, well, his book, You Were Born Rich, is a fantastic starting point.
For sure. Or just jump onto YouTube. There are tons of his seminars and talks available.
Right. Hours and hours of material there. Or you can check out the Proctor Gallagher Institute for, more structured programs and deeper dives into his teachings. Lots of ways to continue the journey.